Hey guys, it's me again. Welcome back to our 12th episode. I've been sick lately, down with a severe cold for a week. I had zero energy and couldn't bring myself to write any scripts for about a week. But I'm finally fully recovered, got my energy back, and I'm here to share another one of my little stories with you guys. Have you guys ever heard of this crazy phenomenon? I was scrolling through TikToks and shorts the other day, and someone was explaining how, when a person is in an extremely cold environment and close to freezing to death, their body actually stops feeling cold. Instead, they feel burning hot. It's basically a hallucination, which leads to this bizarre phenomenon where some people who freeze to death are actually found with their clothes off. When I saw that, I wasn't surprised at all because I actually went through something very similar. Honestly, before high school, I was super stubborn. If I thought I was right, I absolutely refused to back down. One time, I got into a massive argument with my dad at home. I don't even remember what it was about, but afterward, I gave him the cold shoulder. I just straight up stopped talking to him. To be fair, if I pulled that at my current age, it wouldn't be a big deal. The problem was, I was just a student back then. I completely relied on my family for my allowance and daily essentials. Plus, my dad would only give me my monthly allowance if I explicitly asked for it, and I had to physically go home to grab any supplies I needed. During this silent treatment, I refused to speak to him. So, when the next month rolled around, I naturally didn't get my allowance because I wouldn't open my mouth. I was so hard-headed back then. Just to prove a point and keep my pride intact, I started penny pinching. I strictly rationed my daily spending, saving every single cent I could. Surprisingly, I managed to stretch my remaining money to last a whole extra month. I was thinking, I'm not giving in. I'm gonna write this out. But as luck would have it, winter was fast approaching. Since I refused to go home, my dorm bed was still set up for the fall. The weather here is super unpredictable, and the temperature just plummeted overnight. Because I wouldn't go home, I didn't have any heavy blankets or winter clothes at school. I just had to tough it out. It was brutally cold. I was sleeping on a bamboo cooling mat with just a paper-thin blanket. Lying in bed that night, I literally couldn't fall asleep. When I couldn't take it anymore, I dug out all the school uniforms from my locker and layered them all on. But I was still freezing to death because they were all short-sleeve shirts, completely useless. I was too embarrassed to tell my roommates what was going on, so I didn't dare ask to borrow a blanket. Looking back now, even if I had asked, what difference would it make? Everyone only brought enough for themselves. No one had a spare to lend me anyway. I still remember how it started. At first, I was so cold I was shivering uncontrollably. I curled myself up into a tight little ball, desperately trying to get warm. I just kept toughing it out. By midnight, I still hadn't slept. In my groggy state, my body suddenly started burning up. I felt this inexplicable wave of heat. At the time, I thought I had finally adapted to the temperature and my body was warming up. But looking back now, I was probably on the verge of freezing to death and my body was hallucinating. Thank God, I didn't freeze to death. I survived. Eventually, I made up with my dad and my life went back to normal. But even though things went back to normal, something in my personality quietly shifted. I wasn't as brave, or rather reckless, as I used to be. I realized that if I don't have the leverage to back it up, I shouldn't easily pick fights with people. My so-called rebellion was basically a joke, almost laughable, in the eyes of someone who actually held all the power. After that, whenever I felt the urge to argue with someone or stand my ground, I would flash back to that freezing winter night. I would repeatedly ask myself, Do I have enough power right now? Am I fully prepared? If the answer is no, I need to chill out and stay calm. Alright, that's it for today's story time. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Ping, a new YouTuber here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.